All right. Welcome back to Awakenings. We are here with Mr. Kerry. Kerry, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me, sir, my first question, how did you find Vitality Health and Wellness?
I was always researching TRT, and my
TRT
sister,
is testosterone replacement therapy, for those of you that don't know.
Yeah, and I was looking at it for over a year or so, and I had a conversation with my sister, and she was very involved with you guys, and she persuaded me to come in.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you even start looking at testosterone replacement therapy? Why?
I worked out for years, and honestly, I start seeing a decline in wanting to go to the gym. I was always, later part of my years, I would always work out by myself. And I start realizing or thinking that I wanted a partner to push me.
Need a little more motivation.
Yeah. And so, I start declining. And then the TRT stuff you start seeing and start reviewing it. And I love working out.
Yeah.
It's what I love to do. More than anything, that was my thing.
That was your big thing.
Yep.
Can I ask, sir, how old are you?
I am 55.
55 years young. Golly, you don't look it. Well, I should have asked if I could have asked that before.
I
just kind of threw you under the bus there. Sorry about that. No, 55 years old. How long have you been coming to see me?
6 weeks, a little over 6 weeks.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we just started. So at 55, you started researching testosterone replacement at the age of 54-ish, right?
Yes.
So your whole life, you've been very active, been a gym goer, been building muscle, been doing the things. You're not like competitive, like bodybuilding or nothing like that, right?
I did competitive powerlifting in my mid-40s.
You did?
Yeah.
Tell me more. No,
I was out in California. It was the old guys, and doing that. It was a lot of fun. I was by myself, so it was always hard because you always competed against teams or you competed against guys, enhanced doing roids and different things like that. I was always clean, but I enjoyed it. That was fun.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So how did you were powerlifting in your 40s?
Yes.
When, mid, early, late 40s?
Mid.
Whereabouts?
I ended in mid. I was 45.
But you didn't quit working out then?
No.
You just quit. Did you quit competing?
Yeah. It's funny. I got to a point where I was competing against, there was one other guy in my weight class that I actually beat, but I tweaked my knee. And I'm like, well, listen to your body. And I really delayed in going to the doctor. And when I finally did, it turned out to be my IT band. And I needed to stretch out my IT band. And literally, I waited probably 6 months. And then when I finally went, I was cured in like the next week. I could have probably continued to lift. But I missed the window. Probably a good thing because you start falling apart. It's tough on your body.
Yeah. What was your biggest thing? Like, what was your, I don't know anything about powerlifting. I won't pretend.
My numbers were 1450. I deadlifted 6. I squatted 525.
Wow. That's like a truck.
Pretty good. But I had reps. I had knee wraps on, so it's called classic raw. But for an old guy, I'm pretty impressed with it.
Yeah,
pretty happy.
Yeah,
no
man.
drugs.
Are you kidding me?
It was cool.
Yeah, with no drugs at all, none whatsoever. So when you're competing in a sport like that, are you competing against people of your own age or of your own size or both?
Both.
Both. Nice.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
And there were times because you start declining with the people that are powerlifting at that age.
Yeah.
So they'll sometimes put everybody together, 40 to 50 years old.
Got you. So
it's
that
called
you have
classic raw masters.
You got a little bit more competition then.
Yep.
Got you.
To get the numbers. Yep.
Very cool. So you kind of faded away from the big heavy powerlifting, but you stayed active in the gym.
Yeah, I'm always a meathead.
Yeah.
It's what I always live for.
I
don't want to bodybuild. I want to be a meathead. So.
Yeah, I love it.
I like to be an athlete.
I love it. So then you notice going into your 40s and maybe into your early 50s, what did you notice in the gym? What was different about going to gym? You talked about motivation, like you didn't really even want to get there, right?
Yeah.
But then was there anything different? Like were your workouts different? Like did you notice strength declining?
I noticed my recovery. Recovery was big. But when I was powerlifting, I would go every 4 days, and here it would be 5-6 days where I'd feel my body really recovering if I'm going to stay at a heavier weight.
Gotcha.
And that changed.
Gotcha.
That totally changed.
Gotcha.
When I got back on this stuff here, it was
so your recovery has improved
100%.
Even in the 6-7 weeks that you've been on therapy so
Absolutely.
far.
Yes.
Can I ask what form of testosterone replacement do we do for you here at Vitality?
I don't know.
You pellet therapy.
Pellet therapy.
You're like, I don't know what
I didn't know if there was a name.
You're like, I just started, Amanda. Why are you throwing me under the bus?
I know it goes in my back, but I don't know what it's called.
You got it.
Yes.
So we call that pellet therapy.
Yes.
So just a little brief explanation. We take bioidentical testosterone. It is compressed into a pellet, similar to like a Tic Tac.
Yes.
Kind of what it looks like, a little bit longer than a Tic Tac. I make a little incision into the flank area, the love handle of the back, and then I insert these pellets that slowly dissolve over the course of 5 to 6 months for my men. So you started therapy about 7 weeks ago. I know that we started your testosterone, like I said, 7 weeks ago was your initial consultation and your initial pellet appointment. You came back and saw me at week 6. We got some lab work, and then you saw me. We did a follow-up together.
Correct.
Can you tell me a little bit about the first 6 weeks of your experience on testosterone?
Sure. When I started, I felt like King Kong. It was amazing. Even it felt like anxiety, but you had that energy where I could just go 100 miles
like
an
a
hour.
buzz. Like you had like a, I don't want to say buzz like a drunk buzz, but like you were like, whoa.
I could go. Yeah. I could work out and get up the next morning and go again. I could go work out and then sit down and an hour later start again.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was intoxifying.
Oh,
right?
it was amazing. It was
addicting.
It was
a
very
little.
cool. Yeah. It felt great.
So what I did, and I can't speak to numbers because I don't have your chart rate in front of me, but what happened, actually I want you to continue on. What happened when I saw you at 6 weeks? What did you tell me then?
Yeah. 6 weeks I dropped and I felt like hell. Yeah. And you could, everything from my energy to my diet to everything was a struggle. My diet was money.
In that first 6 weeks.
In the first 6 weeks.
But then like at 6 weeks.
And then right before coming in, it was like.
What happened?
It was a struggle.
What happened?
It just felt rough. It felt like a challenge.
Yeah, like you were
sure.
coming down.
You bet. Yep.
So, and I know you and I talked about this at your visit, but I want to share with those people that are watching that this, I don't like to use the word normal. I never like to use the word normal, but this is not uncommon when it comes to first starting hormone replacement therapy. And the way that I kind of describe it, well, with you, for example, we took your total testosterone. I don't remember what your numbers were, but like, let's say it was 400 for number's sake. I don't remember exactly what it was. I know it was higher than that, but let's say it was 400. I took you from 400 and then I gave you pellet therapy, which is amazing. I love pellets, but initially it's a bum rush, right? It's a bum rush of hormones because I took you from 400 within 6 weeks, went to 800, right? I darn near doubled your testosterone.
Yeah.
Again, numbers I don't know exactly,
But that's right.
but it's a bum rush. That's a lot and it's fast.
Yep.
You know what I call it actually? I call it a hormone high. I don't like using that phrase, but it truly is.
Sure.
And you got to remember, you're in the basement when you meet me, or even at the first level, and I take you to the 32nd level quick, straight up, right? And what happens is your body's going to level out, right? Those pellets have to level at some point, or I'm going to shoot you to the moon, right? And more testosterone is not a good thing, right? People are like, oh, just give me more, give me more, give me more. You overflow the gas tank, you've got problems, right? So that's what you experience. You experience that hormone high, as I like to call it to my patients, which unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, you will likely never experience again. And let me tell you why. Because you should never be as low as you were the day that I met you. Okay?
Sure.
So what happens, I shoot you up and then you level out. And a lot of people, I won't even say a lot, a number of people, men and women, and I see it more in women than I do in men, to be honest with you, it's that level that they go, it stopped working.
Oh.
It's leveling out. And I don't want to call it your new normal because I hate that phrase too, but it's leveling out. And if it doesn't level out, like I said, we're overflowing the gas tank and we're going to have problems.
Sure.
So we're leveling out. I saw you at week 6 and I said, okay, all right. Yeah, gas tank looks not quite all the way full. Let me top the tank off. So that's what we do with pellets, right?
Yep.
You come in, I consult you, we give you your pellets. I always equate everything to a gas tank, a car. I'm a big analogy girl. So I calculated you got a 20-gallon gas tank, but I don't want to overflow the tank. So I filled you with 18 gallons, right? And then I checked your labs and I checked your symptoms at week 5 and 6. You came back in and saw me and I said, yep, for sure, he's got a 20-gallon tank. But with you, I actually said, no, I calculated a 20-gallon tank at our first visit, but it's more of a 24-gallon tank. I need to 6 gallons, right? I need to add 6 more gallons to him. So that's what I did. I boosted your testosterone. I topped your tank off. So what's interesting is, and I know you and I had chatted because we haven't chatted since that visit. We chatted on the way into this little podcast about, do you feel dramatically better? And you're like, no, not really. And I'm not surprised by that. Clearly, I'm not a man. Clearly.
Sure.
But in my experience in dealing with men, in treating men, and then also my experience in my male colleagues, it is not uncommon for a man to need 6, 9, 12 months of testosterone replacement therapy to truly get the bang for the buck, so to speak.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And when I'm talking to women too, I talk about this. I'm putting the fuel back in your car.
Mm-hmm.
But your car's been running on low fuel for a long time. It's used to running on low fuel, right? So I give it this extra fuel back. And at first it's like, woo,
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
this is awesome.
Yep.
And then after a while, it's like, meh, whatever, right? So then we get a new baseline, a new normal. So let me ask you today, do you feel better than the day that we met? Do you feel the same? How do you feel today? And give me the truth.
I think I'm better.
You're better.
Yeah. I'm not lifting because of this going on right now.
Got a little elbow injury.
But I'm doing like different activities and I am feeling recovery quicker. But yeah, it's yet to be determined.
Yeah. We're early.
But I don't think I'm back to where I was when I came in here.
No.
I feel better. You know, I feel definitely a lot more alive. I sleep heavier.
I was just going to ask you about your sleep.
Yeah,
Sleep's
I do.
better?
Which is amazing because I sleep like hell. But yeah, I mean, for the
that
most
tells
part,
me,
it's good.
and it's great that you bring that up because a lot of times cognitively, I mean, it's been 7 weeks. That's not that long, but it is long.
Absolutely.
We can easily forget where we were.
Sure.
Right. So I love that you say, yes, sleep is good. And my sleep used to be terrible. Right. So then that tells me, yeah, we're on the right path.
Right.
We just aren't to the finish line yet.
Sure.
Right. It's
Absolutely.
a work in progress.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Amazing. Have you had any negative side effects, any issues?
Not a thing.
Let me ask you about the pellet procedure itself. I did say I do have to make an incision into the back. I believe I closed you with steri strips, correct? I didn't glue you, right? Any issues?
No, the first time you glued me.
The first time, because you were going swimming or something.
Well, I was going to keep doing cardio.
You weren't going to listen to my activity restrictions.
Yes,
That's it.
Yes.
Right. So after I do a pellet procedure, if I do the steri strips, I do ask my men for about 4 or 5 days to limit the bending, lifting, and twisting.
Sure.
Carrie's like, I'm going to the gym.
Yeah, I was trying.
And I said, cool. Well, I guess I'll glue it then.
Right. So I minimized it. Yes.
Yeah. So no negative. It wasn't like you were like walking around like, oh my goodness.
No. And I was concerned. I'm a big wuss with that kind of stuff. And when you start, I'm like, oh yeah, you go 100 miles an hour. It's fine. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Good.
But at first I was like really cautious.
Apprehensive.
Yes.
Like she's about to cut me open.
Right. What's going on?
And then
back
you
there?
saw the tools on the tray and you were like, ooh,
yes.
wee.
Do I trust this lady?
Ooh, wee. Do you trust me?
Yes,
Carrie, do you trust me?
100%.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm referring. Come on.
I love it. You know that speaks volumes.
Definitely.
When you're sending your friends and your family to us, that speaks volumes. We've been around Vitality itself has been around for a long time. I have been with Vitality for 4 years this October. When I first started treating patients, I'm not exaggerating. I would have like 4 or 5 a month. We were doing no advertising. We were doing nothing. It was all word of mouth. All word of mouth. And I'm telling you, our practice has grown substantially just by patient referral.
100%.
And to me, that's volumes there, right?
Yeah. The thing that, I don't know if I should be saying this, but
Please.
The challenge that I had was trying to get my regular doctor to prescribe TRT, and he kept putting it off. They were bouncing around and telling me every reason why not to.
Oh,
and
Kerry,
even when I'm telling people this,
so glad that you brought this up.
Oh, yes, good. And even when I tell people, I refer them and say, get ready because your doctors aren't going to jump on this. So
why? Do you know why? Did they tell you why?
No,
What'd they tell you?
I know my regular doctor is pretty cautious, you know. He made a comment to me like, you have to work on this. You know, like you have to go work out. And I'm like, dude, I've worked out since I've been
I was
able to work out, but you don't know. And I get it. I understand. I don't know, with everybody that they see come through, but I just don't think I think they give you a pill. You know, that's their answer to everything is to try to prescribe a pill.
Please speak freely. We will understand that your thoughts are your thoughts alone. They are not the thoughts of the Vitality Health and Wellness crew.
Yes.
Yeah. So speak freely. Absolutely.
Yes.
So has your testosterone ever been drawn by a conventional med doctor?
A few years ago when I'm from California, and yes, I had a doctor probably 10 years ago, and I was fine at that time, but I was powerlifting and
you were doing all the things. Yep. Yeah. But so then you moved back here, talk to your conventional med doc, your family doctor.
Yes.
And he didn't even really want to draw the lab?
No, I did 2 years of it. And I really had to push him. And he was kind of getting to the point of doing it, but he wasn't like saying, hey, we'll schedule an appointment.
Yeah.
It was like pulling teeth for sure.
Yeah.
And it was something that I even said, I brought this up to you last year when we had our annual.
Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't feel like he was on board.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll be real honest, I can't really fault the family practice doctors. They have so much on their plate, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, they're managing so much. And yeah, it is easy, like, to hand somebody a pill for something. But if you don't know what you don't know, I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Agreed.
You don't know what you don't know. And frankly, do you want somebody who doesn't really know the ins and outs of hormones managing your hormones? I mean, I don't know that I want to.
Right.
But then I'll take it a step further that I remember, I don't remember what your numbers were, but I know that your testosterone was within normal limits.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%.
So when you're within normal limits, in conventional medicine and with health insurance, you don't qualify for testosterone replacement therapy. It doesn't matter how crappy you feel, which I completely disagree with. In conventional medicine, we're taught and trained to treat the numbers on the screen as opposed to the patient sitting in front of us.
Oh, I see.
And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So when you come see me at Vitality Health and Wellness, I go, yeah, you're within normal limits, but my God, you feel like hot garbage. And I bet you 10 years ago, your testosterone was at least twice what it is now.
Absolutely.
So why not optimize it?
Sure.
My question is, why not? Why not, right?
100%.
Soup
and I
up the
agree
engine.
completely. Yeah.
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 Very cool.
I even had a friend, he was saying with my activity, he was a little surprised that I was able to get on it. And I'm like, and I thought about his feedback, and my response to him was, why wait?
Yeah.
Like what you say. I'm like, I want to thrive. This is what I do for, this is my life. This is what I enjoy to do.
Yeah, right. Why wait as you continue to lose testosterone every year you age, and you continue to lose muscle mass every year you age,
Absolutely.
right? So testosterone is muscle mass.
Right.
You talked about motivation. I usually describe testosterone. It's your energy, your drive, your motivation, your libido.
100%.
But it is your lean muscle mass development, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I mean, we don't want to sit and watch you get more frail, more elderly, more sickly, and then go, oh, maybe now.
Yeah, and lazy. I mean, you get unmotivated pretty easy.
It's a vicious cycle.
It is.
Vicious cycle.
Agreed.
Well, I typically ask my patients, where would you be without Vitality Health and Wellness? But you've only been with us for 7 weeks, 8 weeks at the most.
But I love it.
So it's kind of hard to imagine where you would be because you're like, I just got started.
Right.
So, Kerry, what I'm gonna request of you, sir, because I know you're not going anywhere. In about 2 years, we're gonna redo this.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna see where you're at. Maybe a year from now.
Great.
We'll redo this and we'll see how it goes. And we'll see where you're at.
Sure.
Sound good?
Absolutely. 100%.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Of course.